Let there be light, and welcome to Living Essence. I'm Siddhanta Ananda, presenting another video today, wishing that and hoping that it will help anyone that comes across its path. If you're feeling the vibe for this, stick around. I'm not going to go on for too long, but I'd like to help people understand a little bit more about what anxiety and depression is and actually how it presents itself. I think that's the main thing I want to get across here. So we've all at some point experienced depression, we've all experienced anxiety, and it's a hot topic. It's something that is growing in the world, as in more and more people are experiencing it, struggling with it. What I feel is not being spoken about is what it actually is. What is depression? What is anxiety? Okay, down at its core. Now, I'm not going to talk about, depression is sadness or anxiety is, worrying about the future. I'm going to talk about what it actually is as far as actively in our lives. When you're experiencing depression, what is actively going on? When you're experiencing anxiety, what is actively going on? So, first of all, we need to be very, very clear. And, please let me know in the comments below if you disagree with this. Of course, this is only my point of view, and there is no right or wrong, and I am certainly not right or wrong, and I am not an expert. No one is an expert. I'm an expert on my life. That's all I know, and that's all we can be experts at. So, I have experienced depression. I have experienced anxiety. And what did I come to understand about it? Well, this video was inspired by my son today. I was talking to my son in the car. He was low. I saw he had tears in his eyes, and I said, "What's going on, mate?" And he didn't want to speak about it. He didn't want to tell me what was going on. And I went straight for it. I said, "Have you had those moments?" My son's only 10. I said, "Have you had those moments where you felt so low, you've been like, I just want to die?" And he said, "No." And then I just let there be room and let there be silence in that. And he said, "Oh, maybe sometimes." I said, "Good. We've all been there, mate. We've all been there, where we've felt really, really sad or so frustrated or so angry that we've just almost in a reaction that we're not even in control of. We just think, I'd rather die. I wish I was dead." And, talk to him about that. And he said, and then he opened up a little bit more, and he said, "Yeah, sometimes I just feel frustrated, and it seems like that would be the easier way to go." And I said, that's the thing, is that, that ease of why do we want to just remove ourselves from the sadness or the anxiety or the depression? And I said to him, it's really important to understand that you are not depression. Depression is not what you are. When we identify with things, that's when we get really hard on ourselves, and that's when the ego comes in and begins to cause us to identify with our feelings and emotions. So when we identify with depression, I have depression, I am depressed. You see, depression is not something you can have. You can't own it. Okay, it's not, there's nothing, you can't bring depression out and sell it on eBay. The same as, I am depressed. When you look at it, someone could look at you and go, "Well, you don't look depressed." But the reality is how you're feeling inside. But are you depressed? Or, this is what I'd like to present to you, are you depressing? I'd like to propose the idea, and I would like to know how you feel about this, is anxiety and depression is not anything you are. It's not anything you have. It's something that you do. Depression and anxiety is an action. It's something that your mental, even physiological and spiritual, emotional being is doing. You're doing depression. You see, if you take the thoughts away, if you take the event away, the memory that's in your head, or an event out of your head, and you take the thoughts away, then where would depression be? Could you be depressed? So when you have an event that happens in your life, it makes you feel sad. You lose a loved one. If the thoughts keep coming back to that, it begins to become a drain on the system. And remember, thought is action. Thought is action. thought is an internal action, and action is an external thought. I'm going to say that again. Thought is an internal action, and action is an external thought. Okay, so our thoughts are what draw us to where we are. Thinking is an action. So we can, and our emotions and that will rise up and can be played upon through our actions, whether it be internal or external. So in understanding that thoughts are something that you do, and if it's your thoughts that are causing you to be depressed, then realize it's not that you're depressed. That's an outcome of the root problem. The root problem, if you go back to the video prior to this one, talking about the root of cause of things, then it is depressing that is causing you to be depressed. You are depressing yourself. You are anxietying yourself. It is an action. You are moving it. You are creating energy around it. So I know what it's like to be feeling sadness, and then I feed that sadness with more action of thought. So what I'm doing is I'm not depressed, I'm depressing. I am depressing. It is an action. Depression is simply an outcome of an action of depressing. Anxiety is simply an outcome of the action of anxietying. See, as I said in the last video, talking about relationships, it's not enough to be in a relationship, as it is more important to be relating. It is to be moving in it. When you put ing on the end of something, it means you're involved in it. Now, no one can make you be depressed. Only you can do that. So there's an action there. You must depress yourself. And it's that feedback loop that goes on. Now, this can be really helpful to understand. As I said to my son, when you're feeling depressed, when you're feeling anxious, just be with it. Let it be there 100%. And observe it. Observe the depression, observe the anxiety. Bring your awareness to it, your full awareness. Give it the attention it's asking for. And then identify where it is that you're actively depressing the situation. You are feeding the fire. You see, we can have an event happen in our lives, but when we play it back over in our mind, say, we were hurt by someone, that was an event that happened, you were hurt by that person then. But if you keep playing that over in your mind, then guess who's hurting you? You're hurting you. So you're not just hurt, you are hurting. Again, you are bringing yourself into the state of being hurt through hurting yourself. You bring yourself into the state of depression by depressing yourself. So identify where and what sort of language you're using that is causing you to be depressing or anxietying, fearing, looking at what internal actions you are doing to cause that. Again, if you have any issues with depression or anxiety, QFT, quantum freedom therapy, is a beautiful way to help. I guide the person through the story, back to the story, identify the emotion, we tap the emotion out, we then send it out to sea, literally send it out to sea, and then we bring it all under the umbrella of a hypnotic impression on the biological, spiritual, and mental, emotional parts of ourselves, so that it truly gets dealt to, so that we don't keep on depressing ourselves, we don't keep anxietying ourselves, we truly let it out to sea, we feel it fully, feel it 100%, we give it the room that it's requiring, because normally what we tend to do is pussyfoot around with things and we don't deal with them holistically. You never buy part of a house, you want to get the whole thing. You never buy part of a car, you want the whole thing. So if you're wanting to release anything in your life, you must realize it fully, you must feel it fully, because how can you let go of that which you've not felt 100% in the moment? And look, I've done QFT with people that have experienced a panic attack in the moment because they've gone so close, they've gone all the way in, and it's a beautiful moment. And the thing that's okay with that is no one's ever died from a panic attack. Okay, not that I know of anyway. And when you fully feel it, you can fully let go of it. And that's the beauty about it. The reason I encourage people to fully feel, fully acknowledge, fully bring awareness to anything, whether it be depression or anxiety, and how you're acting that out. When you see every aspect of it, then and only then can you let go of every aspect of it, because you are seeing the whole thing. You are selling off the whole thing. You're not just selling it partially. You're not just moving bits and pieces. You are saying, there it is in its wholeness, and I let all of that go. And that's the beauty about QFT. It can do this for your life. So do contact myself or Debbie through Living Essence. The description is below. The email is in the description below. Do not hesitate. Do not allow yourself to continue to keep anxieting or depressing. Let's get in there, see it for what it is, feel it fully, let it go of it fully. So I am sending so much love. Let there be light, and thank you again.